Hey, what's going on, YouTube? This is your certified life relationship coach, Coach Court. And today, for today's live, I want to talk to you a little bit about the fearful avoidant and four things you need to understand about them in order to have a happy and healthy relationship with them. This is my second time going live from my mobile phone, so I apologize if things are kind of set up weird or wacky, but it's right now it's 8 o'clock at night here in the US, but I wanted to make sure that I got on here and was able to uh, talk to you guys. If you can hear me, please let me know. I'll give you guys a little bit of time. I'm exhausted. It's been a very long day, but I wanted to make sure that I got this video out. Hey, if you're just coming into the room, let me know. Um, it's been a very long day and I'm exhausted, but I'm here to kind of give you guys a little bit of information. If you can't see me or hear me, let me know. If you can see me, you can hear me, let me know. Either way, let me know. Hey, whoever you are in here, just let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. I would appreciate that so much. Am I coming in clear? Do I need to adjust something? Just let me know. You know what? I'm going to see if I can look myself up and check in. All right, we're good. So, in today's video, I want to talk to you about the fearful avoidant. Four things you need to understand about them to make them feel comfortable and to make them feel safe within a relationship. These things are pretty much imperative for them to feel like the relationship is a healthy one and to feel as if it's something that they want to stay in. The very first thing that you need to do is you need to make them feel safe within a relationship. And when I say safe, you need to make them feel safe as in um, they need to be able to feel like they can express whatever they need to express to you emotionally. And you can't be a threatening person, an abusive person, because what I've learned about the fearful avoidant is in the past they've had some traumatic stuff happen to them, as far as physical violence or some things that just really toxic, some really toxic relationships. So that's one thing that you want to make sure that you're very aware about. Um, the next thing that you want to do is make sure that you're consistent. So if you're showing up a certain way in a relationship, you need to continue to show up that same exact way. So if you are texting them regularly, if you're texting them a certain time of the day, if you're texting them good morning, if you're texting them good night, you need to continue to do that because if you don't, they're going to feel as if you're pulling back and if you're withdrawing from the relationship, which is going to trigger them and it's going to cause them to act to deactivate as well. So you want to make sure that you're consistent with them and you need to consistently show up the same way. Sorry, the next thing you want to do is be trustworthy right out the gate. Um, that kind of goes along with feeling safe because if you're not trustworthy, if you've ever broken their trust, I don't know, however that is, if it was as far as infidelity or if it's not showing up a certain time that you said you were going to show up, then that's going to be something that's going to really not be a good thing, and not be a good sign for them. So it's going to cause them to either activate those deactivating tendencies, or and this is all subconscious that it's happening. It's going to cause them to deactivate, and it's going to cause them to pull away from the relationship, and hence to go cold. Now, sometimes they'll just go cold because you may have stepped on an emotional landmine that you had no clue you were even stepping on. I've had it where a person had some type of trauma attached to uh, what was it? Water. some type of attachment, some type of trauma involving water, and the person got the water for that person. All of a sudden, they pulled away and they withdrew. It was something that was traumatic about that water experience, and this was something that the person had no clue about. So they were kind of baffled when the person pulled away and started to deactivate on them because they thought that it was something that was normal and it was something that was thoughtful. But that person had trauma. That fearful avoidant had trauma attached to that. I'm sorry, my notifications are going crazy here. I apologize. I just started up my TikTok account and or not too long ago, and it's just going really, really crazy. That's third and least, the last one, but not least, transparency. You have to be transparent in a relationship, and when I say transparency, I mean you have to be able to communicate. You have to. Uh, this is all encompassing. That transparency, all of that is, feeling safe, feeling trustworthy, and being consistent. That's what transparency is. You need to communicate. If something is going on inside you, uh, don't leave it up to question to them because they'll make up these scenarios in their head. And it's usually the worst case scenario. So if something was to happen, they were to say something to you, and you got triggered or you felt like you needed to withdraw, don't just withdraw right away. Communicate that. Communicate like this wasn't something that I really enjoyed. This was not something that um, sat too well with me. So you need to always be mindful about being present and uh, just talking out your problems and talking out whatever's on your mind. So I got two streams going here. I apologize. So transparency is another one. That is probably one of the most important ones because it really embodies all of the other ones that I talked about. If you're just coming in a room, go back and watch the replay. Uh, Let me know. Hey, what's up, Javon? You got any questions? I need to set this thing up a little bit better here. I'm getting it. I'll get there. So that's it. Those four things. Those four things are very important when it comes to making a fearful avoidant feel comfortable, safe, um, and as if the relationship is going to be a healthy one. And the consistency is also important because if they start to back away, you have to keep at the same pace. You have to stay the course and realize that, their deactivating strategies has nothing to do with you. Usually, it has nothing to do with you. It could possibly you could have done something that's said something out of line and became toxic or blew up at them, and it really triggered them. But that consistency, stay the course, stay who you are inheritedly, and you got any questions, Javon? To six. Okay. Well, I was going to end the stream, but if you guys are in here, you got any questions, I will gladly answer them for you. What's up, man? It's Friday night here in the U.S. of A's, and I'm just kind of enjoying it, just relaxing. I kind of wanted to jump on here uh, quickly and put out some content for you. I really like this format better, the streaming format, because I get to communicate with you. Um, it's a lot quicker and simpler to do it this way because I don't have to, do any of the editing. I mean, I love the video quality that I put out as far as my setup, but I like this a lot better. I get to engage with the community, aka the fruitful community, because we're here planting seeds together. So she moved in with her rebound childhood love after 2.5 months. Got an apartment together. Okay, well, that kind of helps give you a little bit of closure there as far as like where she stands, as far as if you should wait around, because like I say all the time, Time is the most valuable asset that you have, and you don't want to have to waste it on anybody who isn't willing to reciprocate and stick it through, because relationships are hard work. They're not easy. And unfortunately, certain people feel like relationships would be free flowing, easy going, you know, glitter and rainbows. But there are times where you need to um, take those uh, opportunities to build the connection and the bond. I call them emotional oil changes. You need to have those emotional oil changes with each other, and it takes two people. Um, I was actually listening to my one of my guys that I studied, mentor, Dr. Wayne Dyer, earlier, and he was saying in one of his books that him and his wife they were having some type of trouble. They had a lot of kids together, and they were struggling. They had some trouble with each other, and they were at an impasse and wondering if they were going to split or not. And that's when he used that time to really dig deep. And he said he probably written some of the most powerful stuff that he's ever written, and he used that pain and turned it into passion. Now we're going off on a tangent here. Tangent. If you're in here and you want to hear about the Fearful Avoidant, go back and watch the replay. Uh, I'm glad to have you guys here. My ex made her Instagram profile public for 1 day, showing off her rebound because I unfollowed her when I started no contact 39 days ago. Do you think it's her trying to make me break no contact? So there's a lot of things that can come behind that. A lot of questions. That's a loaded question. A, what was the relationship dynamic and why did you guys end it? Um, B, what was your reasoning for unfollowing? Because I recommend, if you're struggling with the breakup and if you're really trying to move on, I do recommend that you stop checking their social media as much, but I don't recommend unfollowing them because it gives off bad energy and it shows that you may be emotionally deregulated and they're getting to you. And that's, you don't want them to know that they're getting to you, um, because it looks emotionally unstable. And, as far as women, they like stability. They like a man who can be that rock, not be so fluctuating with their emotions. I've seen a lot of breakups happen with men who were emotionally deregulated and couldn't control themselves when things um, fell apart, myself included. Yes, Shay, thanks for supporting me in here. Yes, coach. I'm off social media. Couldn't even take seeing his green light. See, that helps you heal, and that kind of helps you move on. She has an anxious attachment style. So usually when people have anxious attachment styles and they get into rebound relationships, they are a handful. They are a lot to handle in a relationship early on, if not, before the ending of the relationship. They are a lot to handle because most of the time they're not coming over with this healing energy, with this uh, fresh look in life. They're usually trying to fill that void, and they try to replace the person that they were with the other person that they're coming into the relationship with. Hey, Amir, stay strong, fruitful game. So I'm still putting together my um, coaching packages because I know that during COVID, a lot of people struggle financially in order to get some type of support. So I really want to make it as affordable and as valuable as I can. So thank you for your support and bearing with me. And I also just found out that other country rates the it's kind of expensive if you're outside of the country, because it doesn't. what I forgot the name. The exchange rate. There it is. The exchange rate is kind of steep for certain people. So that's another reason why I want to get something on here, that's get something on the site and get this website built so it's something that's affordable, and it's something that's valuable, and it's something that can help you um, in your time of need. So thank you for being patient, and thank you for the support again. I think I'm going to jump off. Friday night, I'm exhausted. Like I said, I don't know, I've been doing some work across the other social media platforms, and it's been kind of successful. Um, but at the end of the day, YouTube is my home. This is where I love to be. Uh, this is where I feel like you guys, your subscribers, are really genuine and really, really loyal. So I'm gonna still put all my work into you guys and this place, and help everybody um, grow some healthy and happy relationships into their lives. And then we're going to work on manifestation. That's one of the things that we do in the group. We're going to be working on um, mindset work, getting yourself to the point where you realize your potential. You can unlock your potential, get past those blocks, those limiting beliefs, and start manifesting things into your life that you can manifest. And you got to believe it. Napoleon Hill, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. Because I can tell you that I am somebody who struggled immensely after my breakup. Um, and you can get past it too. You can heal too. And that's what I want to do. I want to walk you step by step through how I did it, the process that I used, the process that helped me get myself to a healthier mindset and a healthier place overall. Hey, how do you say your name? Alanode? Is that real? Is that just a screen handle, or is that your actual name? See, I can't see the comments on here. I really wish I could. Nice. I got it right. Where are you from? Anybody else got questions? Questions. You got me here. Let's do it. Yes, I can help you with that question. So before you came in, I gave four things you need to understand about the fearful avoidant. It's important in a relationship for you to make them feel safe, for you to make them feel as if you're trustworthy, for you to be consistent, and you need to be transparent. Those four things. And I can go and break them down for you really quick, but I would rather you go back and replay the video and listen to it from the beginning, because I went into a lot of detail. So you want to make sure that you make them feel safe in a relationship, safe as in mentally and physically, make them feel safe emotionally. You want to make it feel like they're in a safe space when they're trying to come to you with their issues or their problems, and they're coming to you to confide in you. Because the instant that you either dismiss what they're saying, or you try to belittle what they're saying, or make them feel stupid, then they're not going to feel as if they can trust you, and they're going to start detaching from you, and they'll deactivating from you. Sorry. The next thing you want to do is to be make sure that you prove to them that you're trustworthy. Which means if you promise them something, if you say you're going to show up at a certain time, if you're going to do a certain thing, you need to stick with that and be consistent with that, because that builds trust. Um, if you had any issues in the past as far as infidelity, it's going to be really hard for them to trust you again, because they'll be always sleeping with one eye open, and they'll be constantly looking for those red flags that you're gonna betray their trust again. So you want to make sure that you out the gate, make sure that that you're trustworthy. Hey, like this if you're in here, like it, like it and share it, like it and share it. Let's keep this community growing, because Shay, she's been here for a while, and she's really valuable to the community, and we appreciate you supporting everybody, and telling your story. Next one is consistency. You want to make sure you're consistent, always show up the same way. Um, because if you try to pull away, this is where the anxious preoccupied struggles to have good relationships with them, because when they go into their protesting behaviors, fearful avoidance see that right away and it makes them deactivate. It makes them pull away. So if you like protest and break up with them, they're going to receive that breakup, and then they might take you off their social medias. They may unfriend you and block you. So you want to make sure that you're consistent, and that means you have to stay emotionally regulated. Do not get uncensored as much as you can. Do FA send mixed messages even if it's in friendship zone? Um, okay, so that question is do FAs send mixed signals even if it's in friend zone? I mean, usually your the way that they show up in relationships, and this is for every attachment style, the way that they show up in relationships romantically is usually different than all of their other relationships. Relationships with their parents, relationships with their friends. So you need to understand that um, they may not necessarily uh, show up the same way that they show up with those in those relationships. And if you're in the friend zone, then you just got to see it as just that. I mean, was the discussion had about whether or not you guys were going to be romantic, um, or did you just kind of willingly or were you guys dating and then you went back to just being friends? Hey, Amira, what's wrong with your phone? Can you not see me? Everybody can see me. Thumbs up if you can see me. Let me know where you're from. Yeah, just give me a thumbs up all across the board if you can see me, if you can hear me. If you're having some issues, I'd like to know that too. Chris, I'm new to attachment styles. Do FA tend to stick to their rebound, or is it like any other attachment style? It's really hard to judge because when you're going through, there are time frames when people go through breakups and they get into rebound relationships, and those rebounds are very big X factors, and is a very tricky variable as far as whether or not a person is going to stick with them or not, because you don't know how compatible that person is. If that person is showing up the right way and making them feel all of those things that I listed above, safe, trustworthy, consistent, and transparent, then they may stick with them. They may feel like this is a much healthier dynamic for them. But I can tell you that most likely they haven't healed from your relationship, especially if it was a relationship that was substantially long, that was very invested emotionally. If you guys were like living together, if you guys got kids, then most likely that relationship will not last for too long. But that's just a general rule. That's just a pattern that I've seen, and that's not something that I'm 100% certain about. Can't do super chat. Yeah, I haven't activated super chat yet. I apologize. I'm going to get on top of that. Bear with me, Amira. I'm just trying to, go take this thing slowly, build this thing slowly. And plus, I'm a techie, but I just been so busy with coaching that like all the side stuff, the stuff that like the stuff that I need to do as far as activating and the design and super chat stickers and stuff, I need to get around to doing that. But I'll get there. I'll get there, and I'm gonna take you up for on that super chat option. What issues are common between two FA partners or between an FA? So between two FA partners, those relationships can look like a strong codependent relationship where they're hot, they're cold, they're off their own. Um, you may even see some violence between the two. Um, you will see a lot of breakups and a lot of flare-ups and aggression and um, because they both have like what basically what they do is they trauma bond. They get into the relationship and they trauma bond with each other. And that's what makes the relationship seem like something that they um, want to pursue. That's enticing to them, because you'll see people who are just kind of addicted to that toxicity, that chaos, that inconsistency, and then sorry, FA and the DA. The FA is going to be another one that's going to be off and on with the DA because when the DA deactivates, it's going to trigger that fearful into deactivate, and also it's going to also have the fearful avoidant want to protest. And then when they get the person back, they'll start to deactivate too. So it's just like a really weird dynamic between those two. You may see the fearful avoidant protest and like break it off with that dismissive avoidant, and then they're really kind of struggling to uh, decide if they want to actually contact that person again, even though they want to be with them, but they're a little bit fearful about reaching out and being rejected by them. So they'll uh, they'll kind of have like this inner turmoil going on inside their head about reaching out to that person and breaking the no contact rule because that's what they do right away. The fearful and anxious, they'll go into no contact and try to use it as a form of manipulation to get to see behavioral change from the dismissive avoidant. But when they don't get it, they start to double guess themselves and question if they want to reach out and make themselves vulnerable again. Not really. I know we're friends, but he's confusing. He does most points you mentioned. For distance myself, but since there's another person, he gets worried and more proactive. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Also, I was listening to that podcast or that book, and he was saying, what makes a beautiful relationship is the silence between. It's almost like music, like you go to a symphony, and it's the silence between the notes that makes the relationship uh, the most healthy, the most enticing. So in between um, music, when you're seeing the music that's composed, you kind of build up that anxiousness the beat drops, and you kind of wait for it to come back up. You kind of wait for it to come back up. So it's the same with relationships when you pull away and you start to work on yourself and you start to not give them as much attention as you've been giving them in the past, then that's when they'll start to see you as more value and they kind of anticipate you reaching out, especially if you were the one that was always contacting them. As soon as they start to see that behavioral change, they'll kind of think, okay, what's going on? Or does this person not into me anymore? Is it somebody else? What's happening? And as a pattern, the dismissive avoidant will not reach out because they'll run with that idea and they'll think that you have found somebody else and you've moved on from them and they don't want to get rejected because they don't like being rejected. It's one of their wounds. Kelly, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. All right, guys, that's it. I am coming up on a half hour. If you found this information of any value, please like, comment, and share. Stick around for the website that I'm going to be launching and the other content that I'm going to be pushing out to you guys. I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you for having me push this channel and make it a channel that people have found uh, like a place that they can come and feel at home and also feel soothed in the middle of their storm. So thank you guys. Hey, buy me a cup of coffee. Actually, I'll put that if you guys are interested. Buy me a coffee or send me a tip on Cash App. Wait, I think I have the supers here. Ooh, give me 2 seconds. Never mind. Buymeacoffee.com or Cash App. I am Coach Court. I take tips. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend. I really do appreciate y'all again. Hey, and like the video.